Good morning, Anchorage, Alaska, the lower 48 and the rest of the world. Bruce Lindquist with his podcast, Wonderful Counselor. So we have a really fun series for kids and for their parents. As you guys know, I did a serial killer series for 13 episodes that was adult only. And before that, I did a gothic horror that was definitely for adults only. And I had the opportunity to do a kid-friendly serial killer podcast story for an 11-year-old girl who is as close to a granddaughter without being biological as we have. And we just love our Bella. And Bella is the main character in our story. Now, Bella has been getting chapters of this story starting on Christmas Eve. She figures out the cipher and then lets me know, and then I write the second one. And so once she figures out the cipher of the first chapter, then I go ahead and do the podcast. So we are now at the second chapter. So if you haven't heard the first chapter, it's called The Humankind. And the overall title of this whole series is The Case of the Missing Shoe. And it's going to be fun for parents and their kids because there's a lot of stuff out there that's really inappropriate for kids. And even though I'm going to be dealing with a serial killer theme, and you may think that's kind of extreme for an 11-year-old. Not for Bella. Bella watched the movie It when she was 3, and she wasn't scared at all. So she was really challenged and has challenged me to write something that's really scary and suspenseful, but appropriate for an 11-year-old. So this has been a fun time doing this. And also, just so you know, there's over 60 podcast episodes here on Wonderful Counselor. So you get a whole variety of what you may or may not like to listen to. And you can go all the way back to 2021. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start the story. Again, I encourage you to go back to chapter 1, The Humankind. You guys are just starting this out. So, and they're only about 15, 20 minutes each. So, but we're going to go ahead and go to chapter 2. So again, if you haven't done chapter 1, I encourage you to do that. Mom's Nightmare. Previously, the collector left his hotel the way he had found it, like he'd never been there before. He always paid with cash, so no credit card identification number could be traced. He sometimes got lucky, and the women he killed had extra money. In the case of his latest, she was given by her parents a college loan. When he arrived at the hotel, he paid for the room with the dead woman's money and took the elevator to the top floor. He put his bag down, looked out the window at the city of Anchorage below, and smiled. He was hungry. Previously, when Bella left the police station, which was an eye shot of the hotel the collector was staying in, he watched her, holding his binoculars as she walked down the street headed home. This little girl, he thought. I sure hope I don't have to. And then he paused and took a drink of water, as Bella was now out of sight. Bella was about 1 mile or so from her home. She saw the homeless. There were a lot of them. And she was glad her church had a homeless outreach program that she got to be part of sometimes. As she entered her neighborhood, it was littered with candy wrappers on the street. Halloween lights hung there on the houses waiting to be transformed into Christmas lights, and broken pumpkins were scattered like severed heads in the yards, with an occasional moose munching on them. Bella knew to stay away from the moose. They may look friendly, but she was not going to get between one of those and a frozen pumpkin. Bella saw her house, and by now it was dusk. The wind whipped the leaves off what was left of the trees, and the winter chill filled the air. Her mom met her at the door, and she was not pleased she had decided to walk home instead of calling her for a ride. Bella, her mom said, I do not want to have to ground you, but if you wander off again, I will. Bella tried to change the topic, showed her mom and dad the cipher key she'd gotten from Dr. Foreman, and she was excited, too excited to be frightened, which was a grave mistake. Still, she was only 11, and it was all a game to her, like playing hide and seek. Tag, she was it. Only the person she was playing with was not her little sister, who would give herself away and say, "I'm over here." No, if she actually found the collector, she would be dead. Bella ate her dinner and her mom and dad offered to work on deciphering the code that the stranger had left in her candy bag last night. Bella said, "Let me take a crack at it first, and if I get stuck, I'll let you know." Bella pretended to be tired and said prayers with her family and went up to her room. She got ready for sleep, then threw the covers over her head with a flashlight in her hand, like she was in a secret cave, and tried to decode the cipher. She read the key to the cipher, which is the alphabet backwards. And then she read the plain text, which is the alphabet forward. It didn't make any sense. I must be doing something wrong, she thought. She tried it the other way and started to decode the cipher. That cipher read GSRH, next word, RH, next word, BLFI, next word, URIHG, next word, DZIMRMT, next word, GSV, next word, XLOOVXGLI. And using the substitutionary method, the cipher read, "This is your first warning, the collector." In the morning, Bella showed her parents the message, and they were quite alarmed. "When you see Dr. Foreman today after school, I'm going with you," said Kim, her mom. Bella had problems concentrating on school, which seemed boring in comparison to being in a mystery story she found herself living in. Bella's mom drove her to the police station and told her to stay put. She and Dr. Foreman had some talking to do. Dr. Foreman invited Bella's mom into her office and pointed to the chair to have a seat. Bella's mom ignored her request and let Dr. Foreman know, in a voice that would make every mama bear proud, she did not want her daughter involved in a homicide case. Dr. Foreman notedly agreed, and then she called Bella in. Bella said, "I deciphered the code. This is your first warning, the collector." "Who's the collector?" asked Bella. "And what does he collect?" Dr. Foreman said in her professional voice, "Bella, your mom and I are concerned about you continuing to help me with the homicide investigation. Do you know why?" Bella, who was highly intelligent for being only 11, said, "Well, I can tell you why I need to stay on the case." Dr. Foreman tried again and repeated the question. Bella thought for a moment and said, "You're concerned because I disobeyed the rules, and I was in the middle of the park miles away from home by myself, and I found the dead woman's body, and that the murderer must have overheard us talk about trick-or-treating, so he got so close he stole my Halloween candy bag and left a cipher in it. Am I missing anything?" asked Bella, smiling confidently. Kim, her mom, said, "You missed the part where he put the candy bag on our porch." And she paused, waiting for Bella to catch up with the statement. Bella said, "That means he knows where I live." "Exactly," said Dr. Foreman. "Not only that," said Bella's mom, "you're being warned by a person who most likely killed the woman whose body you found and disappeared." "Bella, I don't want to lose my daughter," said her mom. "We're going to heed this warning. Do you hear me?" Bella acknowledged she heard and said, "I know you have concerns, but what all of you do not understand is she has to save the next woman." "How do you know there'll be a next woman?" asked Dr. Foreman. "I can't explain it," said Bella. "But whoever this is, he's not done murdering." Bella's mom said, "Enough. You're done. No more talking about murder. We're going home." Now, Bella's mom is a teacher by profession, and her words were barely out of her mouth when she was notified by phone there's a situation at the school she needed to address now. Dr. Foreman volunteered to drive Bella home. Bella got into her car and started talking to herself and to Dr. Foreman. "The person who killed that woman calls himself the collector. What does he collect?" The doctor said, "That's not important now. You're off the case." Bella thought to herself, "Collector." And then it dawned to her. He collects women's shoes. Bella asked Dr. Foreman, "Why doesn't he just buy the shoes? That would save him from killing the women." Bella paused and said, "That explains why the other shoe was not found. He only sent one to the police." Bella looked at Dr. Foreman. "I'm right, aren't I? He's going to kill again." Bella paused and asked Dr. Foreman, "Has he killed before?" The doctor admired the girl's intelligence. However, she agreed with her mom. She's in danger and might be killed. She was not going to have a dead girl on her conscience. They were driving up 15th Street almost to the turnoff to Bella's house when Bella felt the adrenaline surge through her body again and yelled, "Look out!" Dr. Foreman hit the brakes and her police car slid off the road into a church parking lot and then abruptly came to a stop. Bella opened the police door and started running down 15th Street, headed to town. Dr. Foreman put on her siren and drove chasing after Bella. She caught up with her just before Ingress Street. Dr. Foreman yelled at Bella through her open window, "If you don't stop, I will have to arrest you." But Bella quickly was out of earshot. Bella crossed the busy street, weaving in and out of traffic, once again wearing out her guardian angel. Dr. Foreman picked up her megaphone, which was in the police car, and called out to Bella, "Stop now!" Bella just ran faster. Now Dr. Foreman raced down the road, lights flashing, caught up to Bella at the bottom of the hill where 15th and C Street meet. There was lots of traffic, so Bella this time had to stop. Dr. Foreman called out to her, "Bella?" Bella yelled back, "A woman is going to die unless I find her, and I'm not going to let that happen again," she said. Dr. Foreman yelled back at her, "Get in the car!" "You will not get there in time by running, and I'll take you to wherever you lead." "Promise?" yelled Bella. "I promise," said Dr. Foreman. So Bella got into the car. "What now?" asked Dr. Foreman. "Drive all the way down to 15th, said Bella, fast. The police car blew through C Street, sirens blazing. They reached the end of 15th and drove down the hill to Minnesota, where the streets merged, and headed up the hill. Bella screamed, "Hurry! She's on a bike. She's not aware she's in danger." "Is he chasing her?" asked Dr. Foreman. "No," said Bella. "I don't see him, just her." Now, Dr. Foreman was usually cool as a cucumber, but now she's getting pretty nervous. "Where now, Bella? Where do I go now?" Bella said, "People in the air cannot see her." "What does that mean?" asked Dr. Foreman. "I don't know," said Bella. "I see water also." Dr. Foreman turned on Northern Lights Road and headed towards Cook Inlet. "Look," said Bella, "there's Earthquake Park. She was here, but I just see a shadow of her. She just passed here. Keep driving." Bella now, almost out of breath, hardly able to contain all the energy racing through her heart and mind. Dr. Foreman flew down the road, and Bella was looking at the bike path to see where the trees exposed where a bike rider could be. No bicycle riders. They reached Point Warrensoff parking lot, and an airplane flew out ahead. And as it approached the landing at Ted Stevens International Airport, Bella said, "People in the air who cannot see. We're at the right place." Dr. Foreman parked the car, and she ran on the bicycle path back towards Anchorage. Bella fell on her knees as all the adrenaline left her. As before, they were too late. She cried, "Dr. Foreman?" The doctor picked her up. They ran to the corner and saw a bicycle, and then behind it a woman lying on the ground. The doctor started to run towards the woman, and Bella tackled her, and her cell phone slid down the hill. "What are you doing?" asked Dr. Foreman. "Have you lost your mind?" Bella pointed, and between the trees across the bike path was a thin metal wire. Dr. Foreman looked at the wire more closely and knew if she ran into it, she would not be alive. The doctor told Bella, "Stay put. Warn the other bike riders. I need to retrieve my cell phone. I just dropped it just right over there, just down that path. I'm going to call the police." Bella watched her run down the bike path. It wasn't far. She knew she'd only be gone for a moment. Dr. Foreman reached her phone and then heard only silence. The next thing the doctor noticed was the taste of blood, hers, and the gravel embedded in her face where she collapsed on the path. She was disoriented, like being on a tire swing, having someone push her around and around and around. She tried to stand, but gravity knocked her to the ground again. Her head was pounding with a headache she did not know was humanly possible to feel. She finally was able to stand and steady herself. Reality hit her like a freight train. She ran up the slight incline where Bella and the body were, and they were gone. She screamed, "Bella!" But no voice returned her desperate call. She got on her phone and called in for help. When the police officers arrived, they searched the immediate area. No sign of a woman's body, her bike, an 11-year-old girl, or a wire across the bike path. Bella's voice came back to Dr. Foreman when they had looked for the first body, and she remembered her saying, "I found the woman, but when I returned, she was gone." Dr. Foreman knew she needed to meet with Bella's parents before the news broke that their daughter was missing. The doctor drove to Bella's folks' home. Bella's mom was so upset. "I thought you were going to take her home. What is she doing out there? She's supposed to be home." Dr. Foreman tried to explain, but Bella's mom was not in a place to listen. She was angry and scared. Bella's mom then grabbed Dr. Foreman's hands. "Let's pray," she said. Now, Dr. Foreman was not the religious or a spiritual woman, more like a Joe Friday on Dragnet type. Just the facts. But she also had a tender heart and bowed her head and listened to the prayer. The search went on for a few days. However, there was no sign of Bella. The woman reported missing. Her name was Ivy Henderson. She was a 23-year-old female student from UAA studying for a psych degree, and had told her friends she was going to go for a bike ride. A week went by. Pictures went up all over Anchorage. The newscasts were asking the community to find Bella. The only Vineyard Church in Alaska, where she and her family attended, prayed for her to be found. Dr. Foreman was in her office. It was quite dark, and another shoe and a cipher arrived. Dr. Foreman decoded the code, and it read, "I do not kill children. Do not let her be the exception, or her blood will be on your hands." The collector. There was an additional cipher, and it turned out to be an address. Dr. Foreman, with many police cars, rushed down to the same park where Bella said she had found the first body. And there in the pile of leaves, as the flashlight and the police officers cut through the darkness, revealed a young girl's shoe. Dr. Foreman cried, "No, please God, no." Dr. Foreman pushed the leaves, no legs attached to it. But there was a cipher inside the shoe. She decoded another address. This time it was a small park next to Bella's house. As they were pulling into the park, the car's headlight caught a shadow lying on the sled. Dr. Foreman was the first to reach the slide, and on it was the body of a young girl. She recognized Bella's face, and she was not moving. The police brought Bella to the closest hospital, where her parents were waiting for her. She was now conscious, but having problems breathing, like she was choking on something. Bella was panicking as breath was escaping her, and the doctor gave her medication to relax. She fell back on the emergency room bed. Using what looked like forceps, the doctor reached down her throat and removed a piece of paper which had written on it a cipher. Bella went home with the same cipher key and worked on decoding the message. And here is the key. The cipher text, once again, is the alphabet backwards. The plain text is the alphabet forward. Here is the second cipher. FRQG. Next word, QG. Next word, AKEH. Next word, GUWKLV. Next word, CYHLQLS. Next line, FRU. Next word, WKNNUWFKH. Use the same substitutionary method as before. With the first cipher, only +1 or minus letters using the plain text. The cipher message found in Bella's mouth, can you decode it? Can you stop the collector from killing again? Join me next time for Chapter 3, which is titled On Death's Door. And as soon as Bella figures out this cipher on Chapter 3, I'll go ahead and record it, and then you guys see if you can figure it out. Time is running short for these women, so they're depending on you. Can you stop the killer? Can you figure out the mystery? Can you be the hero of the story?